and welcome to the Lenovo Work Reborn podcast, where we explore how technology, AI, and cybersecurity are reshaping the way we work. This segment of our tour, we are back at it again, live in London, interviewing top IT leaders. Each episode, we're going to bring you insights from real leaders and industry experts on how organizations can navigate today's challenges and unlock tomorrow's opportunities. From making sense of complex data, to simplifying IT environments, to delivering real business outcomes, Lenovo is helping businesses of every size reimagine what's possible. Join us as we dive into the future of work. Work Reborn. Let's go. Hello, Steve. Welcome to the Lenovo Work Reborn podcast. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm so happy to be here. You know, we are here live in London. Have you done anything fun while you've been here other than work? Or are you looking forward to doing anything?
Nothing yet so far.
Okay.
I just arrived yesterday from Dubai.
Okay.
Of course, prior to getting here, there was some news going around regarding a breach that was impacting, check-ins at Heathrow. So I was a bit worried about that. But gladly, the flight never changed, and I made it here on time, and it was all smooth. Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
I am so happy to hear that you got here safely, and we're having this conversation today. Hopefully, you get to do some fun things throughout the week. But, I wanted to really talk to you today about a recent report that we did. So we interviewed over 600 senior IT leaders, and we surveyed them about topics like AI, cybersecurity, and things of that nature. And I think we picked a question that is pulled from that report so that we can have a little chat about. So are you ready for it?
Yep.
Okay,
Great.
fantastic. Okay, so based on the findings from our report, over half of respondents said disruptions are resolved automatically, but only 21% said they resolved proactively. What would it take for your team to get ahead of issues before they impact users?
Yeah, that's a very good question, especially in the era of emerging technology. We've seen a lot changing in a very short period of time, unlike what the situation was in the technology and information security space a couple of years back. And I totally agree with the finding of that particular research especially regarding the proactive approach towards preventing things from taking a wrong turn when it comes to the IT or information security practice. So the reason why I side with that particular finding on that particular area of that research is because we are dealing with people, we are dealing with technology, and we are dealing with processes as well at the same time. What does this mean? We are talking about emerging technology. How do we adopt this technology in a proper way and ensure that we ethically use these particular tools that are presented to us to potentially help the businesses grow and also help us get much more efficient? It's all about secure use. So what does secure use mean? It's all tied towards proactive approach towards ensuring that we understand what the impact is for certain decisions we may take in regards to using these particular tools that are in the technology space. So for instance, we're talking about AI, it's a buzzword right now. We are seeing it every day. We talk about it every day. We see a lot of attacks driven by AI. And if you look at it, the speed of execution of those particular kind of attacks are mind-blowing, super, super fast. So how do we securely adopt AI? It's all about ensuring that you present a governance layer around it and ensure that your users and individuals that actually interact with these particular models understand the consequences of certain actions when you consume these particular products. And that is kind of a proactive way of ensuring that you stay ahead of the curve and ensuring that you don't really use these platforms in a way that it may lead to an organization going down, right? So that's kind of my feedback in this particular finding and this research. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the industry that you're in and what you are doing with your team to stay proactive and be resilient and looking forward and looking ahead to prevent some of these threats.
Yes, good question. So what we're doing right now is we are following a standard, an information security standard. And the standard that we are following is the ISO 27001:2022. So that kind of presents a guide and gives us the specifications of ensuring that we are following best practice and an auditable kind of framework that we can get certified and get surveillance kind of activities around every year to ensure that we are aligned to this particular framework. So what are we doing? What actions are we taking? One is we are ensuring that our policies are updated. We are deploying new policies that are relevant to our business. So we've contextualized our business. We know what our risks are, and we have a risk register as well at the same time. And now we are building controls around these findings of the risk register. So we are building a governance layer. We are looking at how we are handling governance. We have information security policies that have been deployed. We are doing campaigns around that particular space to ensure that from a human perspective, that awareness is there and we know the consequences of certain choices. Besides that, from a technology or control perspective, we're also consuming threat intelligence services. So we have a service, so we go out there, we get threat intelligence reports, and from these threat intelligence reports, we're able to consume these findings and actually block some of these IPs or some of these domains and some of these hashes in our controls automatically. So we have a SOAR solution that kind of automates this process because it's kind of a repetitive process. And in the conference, we've been talking about fatigue, right? People burn out. So how do we ensure that we don't burn out? We are introducing automation and we are automating the implementation and the blocking of these hashes and IPs and domains that are being used to attack various industries ahead of time. So that kind of addresses the proactive approach towards ensuring that we are ahead of the curve.
I think it's cool that you talked about how the automations can help prevent burnout because the employees can focus on things that matter, right?
That's right.
So, what things do you think, like, where would the areas of work be shifted to once automations are more predominantly used and heavily in place, in your general opinion?
Right, because we are a business.
Right.
We need to grow. And we have core services we provide as a business that helps us drive revenues. So in case we don't have automation in this particular area, then there may be a divided attention and we may actually be overwhelmed from ensuring that we protect the business from any kind of cyber attack or cyber related downtime. So it kind of gives us a peace of mind to also think strategically and look ahead, because the repetitive tasks that may potentially take a lot of your time every single day to kind of block those particular controls or block those particular vulnerabilities, there's an automation around that, so it's able to deliver that in a very accurate and fast manner. And we look at emerging threats, right? And as we focus our time in looking ahead and staying ahead and just ensuring that we understand what's really coming, what's really emerging in the market, and how do we adopt that, and how do we ensure that as an organization we're not caught by surprise when it comes to whatever's going on out there from a cybersecurity perspective.
From more of like a personal question,
Right.
what excites you most about the work that you do? You seem very knowledgeable and passionate about this topic, and it's exciting to see and hear.
Right, that's an interesting question. So, what really drives me is I'm built in such a way, I believe I look at my personality as well. I like getting involved I enjoy learning new things and I enjoy helping people deliver or meet their objectives in a sound way, in a proper way, in a comprehensive way. So when I look at it from my background as an IT practitioner who's currently handling risk in the organization, what really drives me is I try and make sure that the business runs in a very sustainable manner, and our jobs they are at risk, yes, because if you look at what's going on in the cybersecurity space, we're a data-driven business, right? We process and collect a lot of data from members all across the world because we actually run a loyalty program. So what really drives me is to ensure that we keep on winning, we understand what's really going on, we ensure that our users are knowledgeable, and this kind of gives me a lot of satisfaction in terms of my role in the business, because I believe I play a very critical role to ensure that the business is able to survive any turbulent experience that we may encounter in this particular space. It's very unpredictable. So the fact that I understand the business, I understand our risks, and I'm aiding and supporting and I'm playing an enabling role to the business to meet its objective, that kind of really motivates me and stimulates me to keep pushing and researching, interacting with my peers, making sound decisions and ensuring that, we are here to survive, we're here to grow. And one day we'll reflect and say, yes, I think we did a very good job, in that particular area. So that's what really drives me. Yeah.
Well, it
Right.
sounds like your team is lucky to have you. I really appreciate your insights and
Right.
your valuable feedback, especially regarding this report. We love, like you said, the human side is still important at the end of the day. So we love these conversations to bring light to the importance of these topics for sure.
Absolutely.
If anyone listening is interested in learning more and about any of the topics we've discussed or diving deeper into the research, our latest Work Reborn report is available for download. You can download it via the QR code somewhere on the screen, or if you're listening to the podcast, make sure to download it in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me
Thank
today.
you so much. Thanks for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
See you around.
Thank you. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Lenovo Work Reborn podcast. To learn more about how Lenovo is helping organizations transform with AI, cybersecurity, and smarter IT solutions, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation. And also, we'd love to hear from you. Make sure to leave a comment with any other questions that you would like us to discuss on our next episodes. See you next time.
Lenovo.